Good afternoon, my beautiful kings and queens. I hope that this has been a beautiful and a blessed afternoon for you all. So just a quick word for you all. God said to speak to the spirit. Speak to the spirit. What that means is everything is first spiritual before it is physical. So as human beings, you are a spirit being housed in a body, but everything that happens to us, everything that we go through is first spiritual manifested into natural. So God is saying to speak to the spirit. Call it by its name. A lot of the things that you guys are going through, they are easily dispelled simply by speaking to the spirit. And when you speak to the spirit, you have power and all authority to call a thing so, and so shall it be. If the enemy is trying to put on you the spirit of depression, you speak to that spirit of depression and you tell it to move. If the enemy is trying to put on you the spirit of poverty, you speak to that spirit and you tell it to move. If the enemy is trying to infiltrate you with chaos, you speak to that spirit. You speak to the spirit of chaos and you tell it to move. Because like I said, everything is first spiritual and then it is manifested into the natural. So in this upcoming season, you need to exercise your power, exercise your authority. Because if one thing I know, the enemy is always setting traps for God's people. The enemy is always trying to put stumbling blocks in your way. The enemy is always trying to make sure that you do not reach your destination. And how so? Some people do it by dark arts. Some people do it by word curses. Some people do it by the spirit of sabotage. So in this season, you as a child of the living God, you need to speak to the spirit and tell it to move, because the Bible says that if you speak to the mountain, you have all power and authority to speak to it and tell it to move. Whatever the spirit is that is your mountain, whatever it is that is in your way, you have the power and the authority to tell it to go into the sea. You have the power and the authority to tell it to be removed. So don't just lay down and take things as they come. Don't just lay down and take whatever the enemy is throwing at you. You are a warrior. You are built for this. You are built to dominate. You are built to terminate anything that rises up against you. So as a child of the living God, you must speak to the spirit. You must command it out of your way. And then after you command it out of your way, after you speak to it and tell it to move out of your way, then you are supposed to call those things forth that you desire. Call those things forth that you know that the Lord has promised to you. So don't just banish that spirit. Now it is your job to call back in the things that you know are promised to you. Because your mouth is powerful, because your spirit is powerful. And if anybody knows how powerful you are, if anybody knows how resilient you are, it is the very ones that came up against you. They pulled every trick out of the bag. They pulled every single trick out of the bag to make you stumble. And look at you, bro. Look at you, sis. You are still standing. And quite frankly, those spirits are terrified, because not only do you know them by name, you have the power to relinquish them. You have the power to destroy them simply by speaking a thing and commanding your atmosphere. You are that powerful, anointed one. You're a beast, anointed one. And that is what the enemy does not understand. The enemy does not understand. Why is it every time I go against this child of God, they are left standing, they are left elevating? Because you know how to command, because you are in your power and you are in your authority, and you speak a thing and so shall it be. So I'm encouraging you guys, don't just lay down and take whatever the enemy throws at you. Don't just lay down and take whatever Satan and his little minions are throwing at you. You command that. You command your atmosphere. You command your life. You command in all power and authority that is given to you by Christ. You command it, and it has to obey. It has to obey. Command it like you mean it, and it must obey, because you are a child of the living God. And when Christ left, he left you with that same power and that same authority. So don't just take things sitting down, because you are mighty, and the enemy knows that. You are a force to be reckoned with, and they know that. And I'm just encouraging you all to walk in your power, walk in your authority, and do not take anything that is not in alignment with the will of God for your life. I love you guys. Have a beautiful and blessed day. And remember, always, always be kind.